Hello, friends. Welcome to another podcast. My name is Dr. Jason Wiggins, and I am your Gen Z and Millennial expert. Welcome. We are Hump Day. Today is Wednesday, so happy Hump Day to everybody. Hope everybody's having a great middle of the week. I know I'm having a good week. It's been extremely busy, but hey, that's much better than the alternative of not being busy. I think most of us would agree on that. The day goes by much faster, and that is always a great thing. Today's date is February 3rd, and 2021, and I believe this is episode number 98. So I want to thank all the avid listeners that continue to listen on a daily basis. This podcast is about Gen Z and millennials and those that lead them. And during this podcast, we also talk about inspirational, positive messages on how to be stronger, how to be more career and family oriented, and how to really pursue our dreams. And I really think that is what we can always strive to do, because when you stop learning, you're dying. If you've ever heard that slogan, it's so true. If you stop learning, you're dying. And let me tell a quick story before we get started on today's podcast. It's a great one. Talk about learning. I'm still learning how to do laundry to this day. I basically was going to do a load of laundry, and I stopped to talk to my son for a second. I dropped the soap, and the soap started going on the ground, so I picked up a bunch of towels, soaked it in the detergent, and then I'm like, well, I've got to get the soap out of the detergent. So I throw it into the laundry. And what happens is a high energy washer. And all it does is soap suds. I've tried washing it 3 times and it's continuous suds. So I'm still learning how to do laundry at my age. So guess what? I'm not dying because I'm still learning. And that is what life is about. Always learning. Life throws you curveballs, and you've got to figure out how to hit that curveball. And that is what I strive to do on a daily basis. But I do swing and miss a lot. But any good individual that knows their limitations or knows what they are good at and what they are not, they will do the same thing. Sometimes you swing as hard as you can for the fence to hit a home run and you miss. And that's okay. But you got to keep trying. That's the key. Today we're going to talk about a topic that came to mind. And I think it's a very strong topic. It's about standing up for yourself, for your beliefs and your convictions. We start from a young age with certain beliefs. This is right. This is wrong. We learn a lot of different things from our parents, from our teachers, from our friends. Some are good, some aren't. And we learn a lot of things that can be very helpful in our life, and a lot of bad habits that are not going to help us. But it is important to notate that Gen Z and millennials have been at the forefront of some very strong convictions, some very strong stances with regards to social injustice, climate control, and really being on top of our environment and how animals are treated. They have so many different platforms that they are very, very passionate about. And that is a great thing, because it is important to have those convictions, those stance, those passions, and you got to stand up for yourself. When you stand up for yourself, it's not only within key things that you're involved in and that's important to you. Even starts at a young age with bullying, standing up to bullies. Even though there's a lot of teaching about bullying, schools are very adamant against it, parents are against it, but unfortunately, kids can be mean, and unfortunately, they will bully. I always have no issue sharing the story. When I was younger, I had a very, very smart mouth. I seem to always stick my foot and insert into mouth. And I guess that's just something I did. And I got picked on a lot. I tried to be strong, but no matter what, people, as they pick on you, it'll hit you and hit you, it'll hit you. It's like a heavyweight boxer fight. The more you get hit, sooner or later you're gonna fall to the ground. And I was picked on and I didn't know what to do. And I remember going into my 8th grade year going, you know what? I will never make it through high school if I don't stand up against the bullies. And sure enough, what did I do? I started lifting weights very, very hard. I worked out as a incoming 8th grader. And all of a sudden, I had these little Popeye muscles that I didn't have before. And that acted as a deterrent to help keep bullies away. But it didn't solve the problem altogether because there were still bullies. And again, it is what it is. But I at least took steps to stand up to make sure that at least I provided resistance against the bullying. And so that leads to my next part of what Gen Zs and millennials experience is cyberbullying. Now, it's not like you have to have a lot of muscles and you have to be able to stand up for yourself. And if a boy or a girl is going to hit you, you need to be able to defend yourself. Cyberbullying is another stance that Gen Zs, and particularly, they've had to deal with maybe more so than millennials, but even millennials the last 20 years, they also had to deal with cyberbullying as well. So these are important aspects that they're mentally challenging. They can really beat you down. But that is the nuance of our topic today is standing up for yourself. And no matter what it is, even standing up against your boss, you have to have respect for that. I've had millennials stand up against me or Gen Zs, and I didn't necessarily like what they had to say or how it was said, but they were standing up for themselves. They were showing passion. They were showing conviction, and it came from the right place. They were trying to do what's best. And that right there is, you can't ask for anything more as a leader. There's always a way to make sure there's no insubordination, and you're making sure that there's a respect factor and a leadership follower aspect. But as we talked about before, Gen Z and millennials do not want to be seen as one is the boss and one is the employee. They want to be seen as equal partners in contributing to the overall success of the organization. But let's talk about certain things that where millennials and Gen Z are standing up for. Climate control. The girl's name passes me right now, but a couple years ago, she was ahead of the climate control issue we were having. She hosted a big conservatory type of platform that she spoke about, and she was on Time Magazine, and she really made an impact on climate control and how we need to do better as, to help the planet, conserve our resources, and really make sure that the planet is here for centuries to come. Many people are concerned that there may come a time where all the abuse of the planet, from all the pollution to all the issues that we're having, could end up hurting the planet. And one day, people joke about it that we're going to have to move to Mars. There are flights to Mars. They're hundreds of thousands of dollars, but people can do that, but it's not an inhabitable planet as of yet. But either way, it is important to note that we have to take a stand, and no matter what we want in life, nobody is going to hand you anything. If you want something, you need to take a stand. You need to utilize your resources and really, really focus on what is your overall key initiative that you want to achieve. What is important to you as an employee, as a leader, as a parent, as a spouse? Is it those are the important aspects that we have to determine in our life what we want to focus on. Because if you focus on everything, you try to take a stand on everything, everybody will burn themselves out. It's just not a great path for success. That's why some people are really good at one thing. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm really good at anything or any one thing or anything, but I would say I know a lot about a lot of things. So you may have heard of the saying before, jack of all trades, master of none, meaning you can dabble in a little bit of everything, but not have all the key success that you need. And I think that's been a key aspect overall. But again, it's really important to determine what you want, how you want to move forward, and determine the initiatives that are important for you in your life and moving forward. So as always, I want to thank all our listeners. I appreciate it. And again, the best way to get in contact with me is via my website, jason@jwigginsconsulting.com, or via our website, genzandmillennialexpert.com. So as always, take a stand for yourself. Make sure you don't get beaten down. Don't go for the knockout. Just realize that our overall success is going to be from taking initiative, focusing on the prize, and eventually raising the trophy, as either Tampa Bay or Kansas City hope to do in the upcoming number 55 Super Bowl hosted in Tampa, Florida, for all you Super Bowl fans. I think we'll get more into that topic, not the Super Bowl necessarily, but more about teamwork, initiatives, winning, and how that takes an effect on Gen Z and millennials on our next episode on Thursday, which will be episode number 99. So as always, I want to thank you. Take care. If it's in the morning, afternoon, or night, be safe. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.